Welcome back to the boatyard. We are taking on our next big task today, which is the anchor chain. We need to swap out our anchor chain, and the actual swapping of that shouldn't be a big deal. That's
hopefully not a big deal.
Hopefully not a big deal. Should be an easy task. You should never say that. Anyway, it's not the swapping that we really want to talk about, though. It's the story behind why we're swapping our anchor chain for now the second time, because, well, the first time we got royally screwed. But before we get into that, coffee. I'm Nikki, this is Jason, and this is our floating home curiosity. We set sail 4 years ago, and some 13,000 nautical miles later, we landed in the Kingdom of Tonga, where we decided to haul out for cyclone season, visit family, and load up on a crate full of much-needed boat supplies. Sadly, because of COVID, our poor boat set abandoned for a year, but we're back, ready to work, and get our girl back in the water.
We've been roasting since, well, I guess about a year and a half now, and it wasn't even on our radar until we got to Panama. We were talking with one of the farmers there, and we were telling him we can't get good fresh coffee, and we rarely find whole bean, and mostly it's instant. And he said, well, why don't you just buy the green beans and then roast it yourself in a pan on the stove? It's what they do in Africa. And we said, oh, okay. We tried roasting it on a pan. Let me just tell you, it's a lot of work, and it's hard to get the beans consistently roasted. And Nikki had the genius idea of doing it in the oven. So we lay them out here on a pan, and we stick it in the convection oven and roast it for about 10 minutes, and it seems to work perfectly.
Yeah.
Ooh. First crack. Now here's the tricky part. We have to cool the beans off real fast so they don't keep cooking. All right.
Keep it at a medium roast.
Let's go. Lots of airflow up here. It also reminds me of a story that we were told at King's Estate Winery, I think in Oregon, about how they used to cool their grapes with helicopters. Do you think we should,
Nah, I mean, look, we don't want to be ridiculous about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Yeah, a little too much?
probably.
The beans are cooled, de-chafed, and resting, and while we wait on them, I want to talk about today's sponsor, DJI, and this new little Mini 2. Obviously, it's super tiny. In fact, I can fit the remote, the drone, and 3 spare batteries in the same footprint as my Mavic, and it weighs less, which is great for hiking and just cruising about town. And it's super easy to fly. In fact, they have these quick shots that make it easy to get, well, quick shots. But they also have a lot of pro features, like for image capture, you can capture in RAW, which gives us greater dynamic range for our photos. And for video, it's 100 Mbps at 4K, which is the same as my big camera. I bought my first drone back in 2015, and holy cow, how have they changed? That's just incredible. I'll put a link to this guy in the description below if you want to learn more or buy your own. I think it's a great little drone, and, well, I'm stoked to have it in my kit. Now, about that coffee.
Okay, chain story.
Oh yeah, it's a long one. It's been going on, well, since we bought the boat. 12 years old our boat was, so the chain was probably about that old.
Yep.
And we were spending so much money on our upgrades.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Just trying to get the boat cruiser ready, that we didn't want to invest in chains. So Kent had another boat come in at just Catamarans that had nicer chain than ours, so we took their old chain, put it on our boat. So that was the first time we replaced the chain.
But it was free, and it did get us by for another year. Whether that was worth it.
Because then that left us in Panama, where that chain started skipping. it would just skip right out of the chain gypsy, they call it. And then it started sloughing rust everywhere, and we thought, oh, this is not going to be good for the Pacific, because we heard you have to anchor really deep, and we knew if it was giving us trouble in shallow water, it would really give us trouble with all the weight of a lot of anchor chain.
Yeah. Then we started researching and digging and trying to figure out, all right, what chain do we want to buy and where do we want to buy it from? A long rabbit hole later, I learned a lot about tensile strength of chain. We knew we wanted G4 high test chain, and we had talked to some of our fellow sailors and even our friends on holiday who have the same boat we have. Had just replaced their chain the year earlier, and he said, I bought it at West Marine because they carry the Eco brand, which he researched heavily, and that was one of the best manufacturers because of the galvanization.
So what did I do? I found a chandlery in Panama City, shot him an email and say, hey, do you have this chain with a link to the West Marine Eco G4 high test? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the response. Yeah, we have that chain.
What they had was a high test G4 chain, but it turns out it was not the Eco brand because, well, we purchased it. It was only a little bit more money.
Yeah, almost $1,500 for the chain that we bought in City. So we thought, oh, it's about the same price as West Marine, so it's got to be
probably the same stuff.
Same product. Well, 6 months later, we're in French Polynesia. Our chain is rusting to hell.
Yep.
Getting super skinny. We made a whole video about how upset I was.
It was a frustrating experience because it was only 6 months in. Yeah. That was nothing. And our friends on holiday were also there with us. I think we were in Fakarava maybe. I can't even remember. It doesn't matter. Even he came over and looked at it and he was like, whoa. He's like, no way, man. My chain doesn't look anything like that. And his is like 2 years older than ours.
3 years older, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Jason started going back and forth with the chandler in Panama
City, and they said, well, it's not our fault. This is a good chain. And we said, well, no, it's not. Here's video of it flaking off and jumping the gypsy. Eventually, I got it out of them, and they told me that the chain is from a chandlery in Miami, and they have different chains on their website. One G4 that's very expensive, and one G4 that is not very expensive.
The G4 doesn't mean a whole lot. It does, but it doesn't. It's about the galvanization. Through all of that, even talking with Eco and having a long discussion with them about it, how do you know if what you're getting is good galvanization? If it says G4 high test, what else can you look for? And the answer wasn't great.
Wasn't great. Basically, he said there's only a few manufacturers around the world that produce high quality chain. And Eco, of course, for coming from him, is one of the best.
Yep.
But there's others out there.
Yeah.
He couldn't give us like any sort of certification. He said the only thing you can do is contact the manufacturer of the chain and find out
about their galvanization process, but even still, anyway, long story short, and the big takeaway for us on this is it's about the galvanization as much as anything. And the only way to figure that out is to talk to your fellow sailors. You need fellow customers who have had that chain, seen the performance of it, and of course online reviews. So do your homework.
We did our homework.
We did, but then very true. The big thing is don't just say, is this product? Figure out who the manufacturer is, and that's what you need to be doing your homework about, is about the manufacturer. Not the place you buy it from. You want to know, where did they purchase it from? What grade is it? So you can find out from that manufacturer if it's truly the product you're looking for.
So what did we do and what do we recommend? Well, when we were back in the US, we went down to West Marine. We bought the Eco G4 high test chain, loaded it up in our crate, and shipped it a third of the way around the world here to Tonga. It's sitting in that crate right now at Kel's house.
And that's what we need to go pick up.
Yeah, and I would recommend doing the exact same thing unless you can absolutely 100% confirm from other cruisers that
whatever you're going to buy at the local chandler is the right product from the right manufacturer.
So let's take this crappy, ugly, rusty, junky chain off of our boat.
Yep.
After the coffee. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's good, by the way.
Priorities, yeah. Of course it's good. That is a lot of yummy chain guts. And that is nothing. Wait until we get done dumping this thing. Are you ready?
Ready?
All right, going down. Do you need me to slow down?
No, it's fine. It's just like rust and dirt falling on me.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, let me try this again. Must be reaching something there. I gotta look inside. Okay, that is what's holding us up, those knots. Look at that. Man, it is so much worse than when we left. Or if it was always that bad, I can't believe we ever slept at anchor.
Okay. Pause for rain cloud because it's rain. You can see all the rain. Jeez. This is pretty typical for Tonga. There's just a little storm that came through, passes, then we have some sunlight, and then another storm will come back through in a few minutes. So we've got like a little window of opportunity to finish this. Okay.
It's just all knotted up.
Yeah. Hey, Niggy. What were you saying earlier about this being really easy?
It's only gonna take like an hour. Okay, try it again. Okay, stop. And time did this thing no favors.
Oh, look at that one. Oh, man. Okay, go a little further. Okay, I gotta get it out. Jeez. Look at all that mess. Oh, I don't want to do that. Holy crap.
It just seems like a bad idea. Maybe you should be on this side, hammer in the other direction.
There we go. Now I can go another 10 inches. Yeah.
That's not what she said. If you're gonna make chain that looks like that after 2 years, 1 year of that being sitting on the hard, why even bother making it? I mean, really.
And just to be clear, we did freshwater rinse everything.
Yeah, before we left, like hardcore. Alright, we're at the very last bit. Careful.
Okay, I'll get away. All right, it is down. I just gotta find it. I should have marked it. Yep, should have marked it before we let it go.
Oh, there it
here
is.
you go. Woo.
Okay. Oh, what a nightmare. Oh,
Holy cow.
I am glad to be rid of this.
What a mess.
What a crocker. What a shame.
Not an autofocus. Ah!
About to test the full weight capacity of these electric bikes because we're going to pick up the anchor chain. What, 1,000 pounds? 500?
One of a kind, hard to find. I can take you off my mind. Your design drives me crazy, crazy, crazy.
So you can see the water and everything. Yeah?
Bye.
One of a kind, hard to find. I can take you off my mind. Your design
so tiny and awesome. I can't believe it actually got that last shot, because it is gotta be blowing at least 25 knots, and it's definitely not rated for that, but it can tolerate it. Little sketchy, little sketchy. Okay, let's go get that chain. Knock knock. Hi. Okay, come in. You ready for this?
Ready. Gonna get this thing done. Never have to do this chain thing again. At least that's the plan.
It won't probably be never again, but at least for a nice long time. So it begins.
It begins.
Whoa. And Kel's going inside the ice.
Oh yeah. You deal with the chain.
That's right, but hey, tell us about what just happened to you.
I got stung by a mollica, which is Tonga's biggest threat. We don't have snakes, but we have mollicas, and they are
Nasty
painful.
little creatures.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, can I see? Oh man, it's starting to really swell up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yummy.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how's the pain?
It's like a bee sting that doesn't stop.
Yeah, it doesn't let up.
No. That's it. I'm gonna
you're
get ice.
You're still smiling, so that's
Yes.
good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So look out for the mollicas.
Oh yeah, we've seen a couple at the yard. They're super scary, and you stick them with a stick, and they go, like literally just like that.
Exactly. And you stick them with a stick because you're trying to move
Yeah, because
them.
you're trying to move them out of the way. But Kel said no, when you see them, you gotta kill them.
Because they're bad
Because
mojo.
they're bad. So, okay.
Alright, okay. You're gonna be tired by the end.
Hey! The end! We should mark it.
Just to prove that you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Why are we marking the ends?
So that we can find it, so we know where to start when we get back. Oh, look at that. Okay.
Voila.
Needle in a haystack.
I should have been getting a time lapse of the shocks and the gap between the frame and the tire.
We unload.
Okay. When we unload.
When we unload.
Okay.
Okay. Shane. Bikes. Cal.
Alright. Well, that's pretty good.
The old chain is getting donated to Cal. It's our storage fee. Okay, Cyril's gonna cut off the portion for Cal, and then you're gonna take the other part. What are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna keep it, and if anybody needs a Tongan, local needs any chain, will be free to go.
I don't have the right tool for the job. Oh, look at that.
Good luck with that.
That is good. Okay, I'll go get the hammer and a chisel.
Yep. It's always a good day when you go for a hammer and a chisel.
Amen. Check this out. There you go, Cal.
Yeah. Alright. Saddle up.
Still plenty of good chain in there.
Yeah. Just looks really rough from the outside.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah, this should go well.
Here, hold my beer.
Yeah.
All right,
Spray time.
gotta get out the spray.
Thank you.
Thank you and good luck.
Thanks. Bye. Anything else? Very important foam.
Shipping foam. Yeah, you never can have enough foam.
Not on a boat. My next task is to clean out all of the little chain flakes from the anchor locker and clean that out so that we can put the new clean chain, non-flaky chain, back on.
With you, the sun is shining 24/7. 'Cause when we're together, it feels like we're in heaven. If it will get dark, you'll be my million stars. I know I can lean on you. Ooh, you catch me like a leaf falling from a tree. If I'll be a shooting star, you make a
gonna be
wish.
fun.
No, I don't fake this kind of feeling. Never felt so real.
After 20 minutes, making some progress. Look at that. It's coming out.
Look at that bucket of anchor sludge. Yum. Now I just gotta clean up all that.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, boy! Ha! Woo! Why does that feel so good? I gotta clean it.
There's nothing else I wanna do. Ooh, and from the fields of flowers you chose to pick me. You're spreading sugar on my misery.
Starting with a little basic degreaser soap, some hot water, toothbrush. Don't worry, it's Nikki's toothbrush. Just kidding. Give it a quick brushing and then let it soak for a bit and we'll see where we stand.
Ooh, the way you make me feel is so good, baby. So good, so good.
So I've got the swivel all cleaned up.
And I've got the anchor locker all cleaned up. We just need to prep the chain, attach that swivel, and we'll have this all finished up tomorrow. Our patrons challenged us to a knot tying contest, so here it goes.
On 3.
Okay.
Wanna say it together?
No? You just count it off.
Okay, here we go. What, am I cheating? This.
No?
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Don't do too much, Lauren. Done. Ah!
I was off to such a good start, and then I got flustered. Okay. Well.
That's the end screen. Yeah.
Oh, that's a clove hitch, by the way.
Oh yeah. That was a clove hitch contest. Let's
Yep.
see who's.
They're
They're both good. We should have put a lock on it. I thought about like put a lock on it and then do like 2 burpees and then pick it back up and then run back to the other side and like
you
as
didn't
if
have
you were
that
like
big
really
of a,
docking.
Like,
Well, no, that's what I thought we could do.
we didn't discuss.
But we did a
this.
clove hitch. Bye guys.